What we are doing at the government level is we're working along with the authorities. We're providing them, as I said at the outset, with the resources, sitting there at the table, going down in the trenches, driving what needs to be driven. But I am just cautioning that all that you see, there's smoke and mirrors, and all that you see may not be what it is being reported to be, and at the right time, the authorities will speak to that. In the conversation with the Commissioner of Police this morning, what you're going to see is an increase in police presence, as well as the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force providing their support in certain areas in Port of Spain, which again, we're looking at that there may be this gang activity taking place. The crime situation must concern every right-thinking and civic-minded member of society and citizen, as it does me. But what you look for when you're trying to solve any problem is you have to get to the root of the problem. You have to get to the core of the problem. So if you have gangs fighting gangs, you then try to work out, okay, well, what is the reason for that? Why is there a fight for turf? What is being used? How do we cut that off? How do we curb it? But if you now have information of certain persons standing to gain and actually promoting the criminal element to go out and harm society, that is a very, very serious accusation and allegation. And that's not for me to make, that's not for me to do anything about. So what I'm signaling is that the authorities are pursuing, I can say that without any fear of contradiction, the authorities are pursuing investigations along those lines.
Is a state of emergency limited or otherwise on the table for the
Absolutely
government?
not. Absolutely not. I certainly that has not come up as a topic of conversation. What I can say in our discussions at a national security level, not at a cabinet level, not as a national security council level, but just me meeting with the heads of divisions, and when we're working out things that can and cannot be done, I'll point you all to what happens in Jamaica, the special zone legislation, where exactly that takes place. It's now been in operation for over 2 years. Go and do the research. Go and see what has happened with that legislation and the effectiveness of it. It is not something that I am personally in favor of at all. And as the police have admitted, and other agencies, there is more that can be done within our current parameters of the law to fight crime, and that's what we're doing. We recognize, obviously, at the government level, as we have for a long time, that a lot of our youth and certain younger generations are being pulled towards the criminal element and the attractiveness to them of getting engaged in criminal activity. It is not only hard policing that we're employing in the fight against crime. Just to give you an example, out of national security alone, the initiatives that we have employed and are about to employ to go out and try and deal with providing the options and the positive options for a young in society. We have the National Crime Prevention Program that is now in the process and at the stage of going to the schools and the younger people in communities. The Cure Violence Program, the Cabinet gave approval from. This is going to be us getting into certain challenged communities, offering mediation services, getting to know persons, and getting to provide a level of assistance. 2 programs that I've personally gone and seen the graduation and how it positively affects the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, MILAT and CCC. And again, the Cabinet took a decision, even in our challenging economic times, to expand these programs. The Cadet Force, a lot of emphasis is being placed there, more resources, and we are going to revamp how the Cadet Force is run. Cabinet recently approved a youth program out of the Ministry of National Security that I intend to work with the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs to again provide options and positive options using sport and other things like assistance with homework, assistance in school, and we also recognize that everyone may not be academically inclined to assist in those areas. We are going to be placing more emphasis on the police youth clubs, the defense force. I've been telling them, pursue and help with a youth club. Even the prison service have a youth club. I have also asked in the past couple of weeks at my weekly meetings with the heads of divisions that I intend to launch in the not too distant future. I think the timing should be right after Carnival. Again, a multi-agency task force to go into the schools around Trinidad and Tobago and to engage our young children and to let them know what are the potential consequences of a life of crime and that there are other options. That agency, multi-agency school intervention program, will have the prison service. We're going to choose model prisoners who can go and talk firsthand as to what are their experiences, the wrong decision or decisions they may have made, and what are the consequences of that. The Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force, the Ministry of National Security, and of course the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We are also bringing back certain youth programs. We're currently working, it's currently before the F1GP, Finance and General Purposes of Cabinet, to start up a male youth residence where the St. Michael's Home for Boys used to function from. That will be run by the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. We also now have set up a multi-agency across the various ministries of the government to re-establish Presto and Chatham as youth camps, again with the Defence Force assisting, and the whole idea behind that is to offer non-academic learning, training, offering of potential jobs, entrepreneurship going forward. Recently, the CCTV contract and award has gone out to revamp and upgrade our national CCTV program and apparatus. The new air unit I've spoken about, I expect to launch at the beginning of February at a greatly reduced value to the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago. Great savings. The National Operation Fusion Center finally has the right professionals at the helm who have conducted the same type of exercises and experience outside of Trinidad and Tobago and gain that experience. The multi-agency approach has been working. Just by having all of us around the table on a consistent basis, I have seen over the last 18 months plus that now our Defence Force, our intelligence agencies, including our prisons and our Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, are freely sharing information and bringing different pieces of the puzzle together that is making it a safer and better place. The National Radar Control Center is being upgraded, but in the meantime it is fully functional and working. We have had many successful interdictions of vessels trying to come across our borders. Not all are reported, and persons are constantly being deported out of those exercises. We have at the cabinet level approved the restructuring of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service that I dare say the first implementation of it has been successful, and you are seeing now our vetted units. One of the more famous ones immediately is SORT, and we are also building out other vetted units to provide the support and to get special operations are done. You have seen the success of some of our special operations in dealing with human trafficking, border security, and other areas. We are targeting criminal gangs. The anti-gang legislation is being utilized and is being successfully used. You would have seen 4 persons recently charged and incarcerated as a result of this anti-gang. There have been many others. I've asked the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to begin educating the public as to the utilization of the anti-gang legislation, which is a very important asset in the fight against crime. The use of assault rifles, the use of automatic guns, and I've said consistently, especially in the Parliament, the AR-15s, the Glock handguns. Just yesterday, in the vehicle that was trying to exit Port of Spain with the gunmen who did what they did in George and Nelson Street, they left one gun behind. And once again, it was a Glock 17 with an extended magazine. These extended magazines can carry up to 33 rounds, 32 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. Each bullet is a projectile designed to kill. AR-15s carry 5.52 or 7.6 and that type of ammunition, as well as the AK-47 7.62. These types of rounds are designed for war and to kill. One of the things the government is pushing for and is currently before the House of Representatives, having been passed, I believe, in the Senate, is the bail amendment, that anyone caught with an automatic weapon or assault rifle, no bail for 120 days. There are those outside there that want the population to believe this is draconian. In small Barbados, or sister CARICOM state right next door, the Barbados legislators have passed legislation that anyone found with an illegal firearm, 24 months no bail, 2 years no bail. We are saying 120 days, we'll start your case for automatic firearms. And again, I ask the question, who could justify having an illegal firearm? But worse yet, there is absolutely no justification for having an automatic firearm. Not even a legal firearm user's license holder can have an automatic firearm.